Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. At the athletic club, Sally chats to Billy about their morning walk in the park and meditation, as he stares at his phone. Working to get his attention, Sally wants to talk about her ideas for the Abbott Communications launch party. She thinks they should run with a theme, like Future Forward, or Night of the Hollywood Stars. He says they all sound great and she should do whichever she likes best. She assumes something is wrong. The Abbott claims he's been having a top-notch day. He touched grass with his toes and everything. Sally can see that Billy's wound up and assumes that what Nick said about him firing Phyllis got to him. Billy insists that Nick didn't get under his skin. She assumes he feels guilty because he has a big heart. Billy insists he's not second-guessing letting Phyllis go. He's confident she'll land on her feet. Sally worries what will happen in the future, given he told Phyllis this was only a leave of absence. Billy only said that to soften the blow. Sally hopes that's true since she just blew up her career to work with him. Billy repeats that he is committed to her and there's no scenario where he will replace her with Phyllis or anyone else. Sally backs down, and they get back to discussing the launch party theme. She wants to do something exciting and contemporary but also familiar. They need to stress connectedness and convince people that they are inviting and trustworthy. To distinguish themselves from Newman Media, she suggests they be cutting edge and retro at the same time. Billy loves the idea. They can pitch themselves as a return to the trustworthy. She envisions the party as surrounding the dawn of TV in the 50s and using that as a metaphor for the return to decency and elegance in media. Billy thinks this is brilliant. She's inspirational. He's sure she'll be a superstar. Taking Sally's hand, Billy tells her he no longer feels like eating breakfast. He suggests they go up to her suite and stop talking. They drop their napkins and walk. Amanda shuts down Phyllis' interest in Dumas. At Society, Amanda grills Phyllis about trying to get in touch with Dumas. When Phyllis tries to cover, her friend explains that she's Aristotle's legal counsel. She asks what she's after with her boss. Phyllis replies, "My entire future." Amanda is sure she is being overly dramatic, but Phyllis is insistent. They go over how horrible Phyllis' year has been, and she thanks Amanda for all their talks over the phone. Phyllis complains that she was starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but Billy was too frustrating to work with, so she had to quit. Now, she wants to create a company with her son. All she needs is someone with deep pockets who can respect her vision. She's sure Dumas could be such a person and Amanda could talk him into it. "It's not going to happen," Amanda bluntly says. Her friend won't give up and begs for 15 minutes with her boss. Amanda explains she already talked to Dumas about her, assuming she was after financial backing. She sang her praises and left out the dicey details, but it was a definite no. Phyllis asks about what Dumas' other priorities are, but Amanda won't say. She assumes that Phyllis won't drop this, but warns that nothing will change. "I just need a little money," Phyllis pleads. Her friend asks about her idea. Waving her hands, Phyllis says it's a lot of things, and she'd like to pitch them all. The lawyer realizes she has no idea what her business is supposed to be. Media, that's what it is," Phyllis says, speaking vaguely about using linear influencers and AI. Amanda says her boss has no interest in media. Phyllis wonders why he reached out to Billy about Abbott Communications. She realizes Dumas must be interested in Chancellor. Her friend refuses to discuss this, but Phyllis can't stop gushing about how great it would be if Nikki and Victor lost Chancellor. She offers inside information. Amanda repeats that her boss isn't interested. She urges her friend to let all of this go. Forget about Dumas. Move on, Amanda urges. Once Amanda leaves, Phyllis calls Summer in Milan and teases her about going out for drinks with her new hire. They agree to talk more tomorrow and she tells Summer how proud she is of her. After she gets off the line, she thinks of calling Daniel but decides against it. She calls Nick instead, leaving a message to thank him for offering his support whenever she needs it. She may take him up on it. Damien asks Amy to move in with him. At Nate's penthouse, he and his cousins discuss their shock at discovering that Amanda is Aristotle Dumas' legal representative. Devin wonders what it means. Before they can mull that over, Amy arrives with Damien. She feels good to be back with the people she cares about. They talk about the restaurant they went to and Devin notices they seem close again. It must be a relief for Damien to let go of the anger. Taking his mom's hand, Damien explains how grateful he is to have the chance to move past the anger and get to know his mom all over again. As they hug, Nate and Lily smile. Devin looks unimpressed. Damian tells his mom he's a different man and will always be there for her. This is more than Amy could have hoped for. Her son says she deserves it. As they all sit, Lily explains they've had the paperwork drawn up for Damian's job offer and, given his experience, they think he could oversee their hotel chain. Damian thinks it's a good fit and asks if his brother is on board. Nate feels this could be great. As Damian shares his excitement, Devin leaps in to ask if he knows Amanda Sinclair. Damian has never heard of her. They drop that and get back to talking about his plans to move to Genoa City. He thinks that his mom should make a home there with him. That sounds great to Nate, but Amy finds it hard to imagine, given that she's spent the last year planning for the end. A reunion and goodbye were the most she expected. Her son wants them to be together for whatever time she has left. Damian thanks Nate for helping them see this through. He's starting to feel like a whole new family is coming together. Amy thinks packing will be overwhelming, but her son assures her he will find them a place. Devin crosses the room to get some water and Lily follows, noting he's been silent beyond grilling Damian about Amanda. She thinks he could have been more diplomatic for Amy's sake and senses something is bothering him. Her brother explains he's suspicious of Damian. This is all coming together too easily. Plus, Amanda just showed up to tell them Dumas is not a threat. There are too many coincidences for him. It doesn't help that Damian is pursuing his sister. Lily says she feels like they can trust him. He hopes she's right and they aren't opening the door to a tiger. Devin announces he needs to take his son to baseball practice. He welcomes Damian to the company and exits. Nate strolls over to Lily and asks if everything is all right. Amy is tired, so Nate offers to take her up to her room and fix her blinds. Once they head off, Damian asks Lily if everything is cool with her brother. He wonders if Devin's not sold on him joining the company. Lily says he'll come around. When Damian asks if she trusts him, she says, "I'm getting there." That sets him off. He doesn't know what else he has to do to prove himself after agreeing to walk away from his job and life in LA. Calming him, Lily says she was joking. She trusts him and they will welcome him to Winters Inc. with open arms. This is starting to feel like a beginning. They are both looking forward to where this can go. Nate stands on the stairs and watches them. Amanda raises Billy's suspicions. Billy and Sally stumble down the stairs of the athletic club after their romp in her suite. They are startled to bump into Amanda when they step into the foyer. He introduces the two women. Amanda remembers her as the woman who teamed up with Tara to drive Summer out. Sally assures her she's changed. Billy bluntly asks Amanda if his mom sent her. Jill didn't send her. She explains that she and Jill parted on very good terms and she's moved on to being Dumas. Legal counsel. They argue about his mom selling the company to Victor and he asks if she had anything to do with it. Amanda claims she urged Jill to reconsider and give him another chance. He thanks her for going to bat for him. The lawyer says his mother is in a lot of pain over her choice and she urges him to reach out to her and make peace before it's too late. Billy doesn't want to talk about his mom anymore and asks what Dumas' business with the Winters family is. She can't say. Billy complains that he's been trying to get a meeting with her boss for months and they keep stringing him along. Amanda offers to see what she can do and walks off. Sally says she does not care for that woman. Both she and Billy assume she is hiding something. This whole situation is getting very suspicious, he says. Amanda has a tense encounter with Billy and Sally, and Phyllis reaches out to Nick. Amanda Sinclair glanced at her phone, the unread messages piling up like a mountain she didn't have the energy to climb. She stood at the window of her law office, watching the shadows stretch across the city skyline, the dull glow of sunset giving the world a reddish hue. Her thoughts weren't on legal briefs or court dates. They were on what waited for her downstairs, Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra. She had agreed to meet them at Society for a quick drink to go over a potential collaboration between Shankcom and a new PR campaign her firm was managing. But Amanda had an uneasy feeling in her stomach. Billy was unpredictable on a good day, and Sally always had a hidden agenda tucked beneath her charming smile. She arrived at Society 10 minutes late, hoping to signal authority rather than anxiety. The moment she stepped into the warm, ambient restaurant, her eyes locked on Billy and Sally, already seated at a corner booth. Billy rose slightly, smiling, that casual, cocky grin he used whenever he was trying to be disarming. "Amanda," he greeted, gesturing to the seat across from him. "Good to see you." Sally nodded in greeting, her fiery red hair catching the dim light. "We weren't sure you'd show." Amanda slid into the seat, crossing her legs neatly. I said I'd be here. Billy raised his brows. Always the professional. Amanda ignored the jab, if that's what it was. Let's get to the point. What exactly do you want from me? Sally leaned forward. Look, we both know you're one of the sharpest legal minds in Genoa City. Billy and I are looking at launching a series of stories on Newman Media, but the legal waters are murky. We want someone who can keep us from drowning. Amanda narrowed her eyes. You mean you want cover for whatever mess you're about to stir up? Billy didn't flinch. Amanda, come on. You know what Victor and Adam are capable of. This isn't personal. It's about holding them accountable. Amanda folded her arms. And what's in it for me? Besides painting a giant target on my back. Sally smiled. You get to expose corruption. That's got to count for something. But Amanda wasn't buying it. This wasn't just about justice, it was about leverage, revenge, and power. She'd seen it too many times before. Billy still had a vendetta against Adam, and Sally, well, Sally had no qualms about using others as stepping stones. I'm not interested in playing games, Amanda said coldly. If you want legal advice, fine. But I'm not signing on to a war against Newman unless I know every single detail of what you're planning. Billy leaned back, his expression darkening. So you're just going to walk away from a chance to do something meaningful? Amanda stood, her voice low but firm. I'm going to walk away from something reckless and selfish disguised as noble. Think about that. Without waiting for a response, she turned and left the restaurant. The tension in her shoulders lingered long after she stepped into the cool night air. Across town, at the Grand Phoenix, Phyllis Summers poured herself a glass of wine behind the bar. The lobby was quiet, just a few guests milling about, checking their phones, or waiting for the elevator. She stared at her reflection in the glass, perfectly coiffed hair, flawless lipstick, and eyes that held more weariness than she liked to admit. She missed Nick. She didn't want to, but she did. They hadn't spoken in days, not since the argument about his loyalty to Sharon. It wasn't always about Sharon, but it always ended there. That look in his eyes, that unspoken bond he couldn't let go of. But tonight, she didn't want to be proud. She didn't want to be alone. She picked up her phone and hesitated for only a second before dialing. Phyllis. His voice on the other end, warm and familiar, made her heart squeeze. Hey, she said softly. I know it's late. It's okay. Everything all right? She hesitated. Can you come by the hotel? I want to talk. There was a pause. Then, I'll be there in 10. When Nick arrived, Phyllis was waiting in the lobby, her heels tapping softly on the marble floor. She led him to a quieter lounge area, away from the few remaining guests. I didn't call you to fight, she said, offering him a seat. I miss you. Nick studied her face, his expression guarded. I miss you too, Red. The silence stretched between them. Not angry, just full of everything they weren't saying. I keep thinking, she continued, that we've done this so many times. Loved, lost, found our way back, and maybe it's just who we are. But this time it feels different. Nick looked down at his hands. It's because we keep avoiding the hard stuff. We pretend things are okay until they're not. She nodded. I know, but I don't want to pretend anymore. I want us to be honest, about what we want, about who we are. Nick's voice was quiet, even if it hurts, especially if it hurts. He smiled, just a little. You always were the brave one. They talked until after midnight, unpacking truths they'd both kept buried. Phyllis admitted her fear of losing herself in the relationship. Nick confessed his guilt about Sharon, about not always setting boundaries. And when they finally sat in silence again, it wasn't uncomfortable. It felt healing. I'm not saying we fix everything tonight, Phyllis said, touching his hand. But maybe we can stop breaking it. Nick laced his fingers with hers. I'd like that. The next morning, Amanda found herself walking through Chancellor Winter's offices, her mind still turning over last night's confrontation. She hadn't slept well, too many questions bouncing around in her head. Was she being too cautious? Or was she the only one seeing things clearly? Devon approached her with a mug of coffee. You look like you're carrying the weight of the world. She managed a smile. Maybe just the city. Want to talk about it? Amanda took the coffee and exhaled slowly. Billy and Sally. They want me to help them go after Newman. Legally, they're on shaky ground. Ethically, even worse. Devon frowned. Do you want to be involved? No, but I keep thinking, if I don't help them, someone else will. Someone less concerned with doing things the right way. Devon nodded. Sounds like they're trying to drag you into a fight that's not yours. Exactly. He placed a hand on her shoulder. Then don't let them. You know who you are, Amanda. Trust that. Later that day, Billy and Sally sat back in the same booth at Society, 2 untouched drinks between them. Well, Billy muttered, that went about as well as expected. Sally sipped her martini. Amanda's too smart to be played. We need someone who's willing to get their hands dirty. Billy's eyes narrowed. We'll find them. Newman Media has had a free pass for too long. Sally smiled. Let's shake things up. And somewhere across town, Amanda opened her laptop, began typing up a confidential memo, one she would keep in her personal files, just in case Billy or Sally crossed a line they couldn't come back from. She wasn't in their war. But she'd be ready if it spilled into hers. Thanks for watching this video and please subscribe our Update World 24 YouTube channel for more update news.